Good morning, students. Today we are going to talk about adding or subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. As you can see here, we have a word problem, and we are going to read the word problem. Two friends get their haircuts. Natasha gets 3/5 of a foot cut off, and Briar gets 1/4 of a foot cut off. What is the total length of hair the two friends get cut off? Okay, so if I look back in my problem, I see that I need to find out what the total length of hair is. In order to do that, I have to go back in my problem and see what information that I have. So it says Natasha gets 3/5 of a foot cut off. So I'm going to go ahead and write 3/5 here. And Briar gets 1/4 of a foot cut off. So I'll go ahead and write 1/4 here. Now I know that this is an addition problem because it does say what is the total length. That means I'm going to combine two things. Okay? So now that we have our addition problem set up, we need to think about whether or not these two fractions are part of the same whole, because we're not able to add the fractions unless they're part of the same whole. So right now, they are not a part of the same whole because the denominators are different, okay? So we are going to use equivalent fractions to help us find a common denominator. Once we find the equivalent fraction with the same denominator, we will be able to add them together. So I'm going to come over here and I will write 3/5, and we are going to use the skip counting strategy. And I usually skip count up to 3 spaces and stop to see if I have a common denominator. Okay, 1/4 here. Okay, so I'm going to start with the greater denominator. And I know that if I skip count by 5, the next number would be 10, 5, 10, 15, 20. And then the denominator here for 4, 4, 8, 12, 16. And I'm going to stop here. I'm going to look at all of my denominators. Do I have a common denominator? No, I do not have a common denominator yet, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, 16, 20. Now I have a common denominator because I see 20 here and 20 here. Okay, so for the numerator, I'm going to skip count just as I did for the denominator. So 3, 6, 9, 12. So this is my equivalent fraction for 3/5. And then of course skip counting by 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5/20 is my equivalent fraction for 1/4. So I am going to plug that information in my problem. 12/20 plus 5/20. Oh. Let's get the eraser. Let's try this again. 5/20. So now they are part of the same whole because the denominators are the same. So I'm going to add my numerators. 12 plus 5 is 17. And of course my denominator stays the same. I do not add denominators. And so my answer is 17/20 of a foot.